Hello, everyone. This is Peter Pan. Today, I have my special guest, Simon Perez, a home inspector here serving the tri-state area. Simon, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Simon Perez. Like Peter said, I'm a home inspector specializing in residential home inspections. I am a bilingual home inspector serving the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and various areas within New York as well. My background, I personally am a finance major and have switched complete careers into the real estate business, and my family are full of architects and engineers, so that's where my love for the real estate comes from. I currently am the owner and sole home inspector of Home Inspections Today, and I've been in the business for 5 years. Recently just hit that this past August. So, yeah, welcome to everybody.
Congratulations, Simon. 5 years is a benchmark for a small business, especially with the high failure rate. So, you're legitimate. Do you specialize in residential or commercial real estate?
Residential. Up to 4 units.
Very well. So I'm going to ask you some of the questions that clients in my field ask me, and also some community members here too. So please tell us, what is a home inspection and why is it necessary in a real estate purchase?
So a home inspection, some people might not know that is primarily a visual inspection of the house in a specific time and place, right? So the importance of the inspection is that we want to test out everything in the home for either a buyer or a seller, so that they are aware of any potential issues and defects that are in the house, right? Because once you sign that contract and the house become yours, all those issues become yours as well. They come along with the house. So we want to make sure that all the buyers are aware of what these issues are, and we make sure that we test everything within the home so that they are aware. And the reason why it's necessary, right? The inspection report can be used in various different formats. You can use the report that you can take back to your real estate agent or your attorney. Some might say as a negotiation tactic, but my reports tend to be used for multiple different reasons, because I do provide recommendations in them, so you can prolong the life of a house and certain aspects of the house as well.
Speaking about that matter of renegotiation tactic, a home inspection get a bad reputation for that matter, especially in the real estate brokerage community. Is that true, Simon? Can you clarify for us if that's true? And what should be the right way to view a home inspection?
Yeah, so at least in my reports, the way I'm very fair and straight to the point. I tend to target facts and speak to certain defects as they are and as they are presented, right? So a buyer can take the inspection report and read it as and interpret it as they want, and can come back to me for interpretation and clarification so that they can feel comfortable with what I'm trying to portray in the report. But the inspection report is going to be strictly factual and presented as a factual report. And I also do provide, like I previously mentioned, recommendations to the buyers as to what they can do in the home to prolong certain systems, so that they don't have to come out of pocket sooner than later. So there's multiple different ways to view the report, but it's all in the view of the buyer or seller to read the report. And I'm always there to assist in the future if there are any misinterpretations or further questions.
So aside, based on what you're telling us, aside from the visual inspection, identifying any issues or concern, you're also helping the purchaser understand how to maintain the property. Is that correct?
Correct. And along with my report, you will also receive a template with like a life expectancy of pretty much everything that goes in the home. So it'll tell you how long your roof should last, how much your boiler is gonna take, even things as your refrigerator, little things like that people might not know how long they're gonna last, and you can start preparing ahead of time to saving up that money to eventually replace it and not have to come out of pocket at a random time.
Speaking about that, what is included in the home inspection?
So the inspection includes the exterior of the house, the interior, foundation, roof, attic space, boiler, HVAC, water heaters, electrical, and plumbing. But as long as everything is accessible. So it's important to know that if a buyer is buying a winterized home, they want to make sure that before we even get to the house, the water is running, that there's electricity, because a lot of the components in the home depend on these such things to be on, right? You can't test the boiler without water or electricity. You can't test any electrical without the lights in the house being on. So it is important that everything is in working condition, all the utilities are on in the home, for at least to us be able to perform the inspection the best possible way.
So the seller and the parties involved also have to prepare for the inspection sometimes too, as you mentioned.
Yes.
In the winterized home example.
Yes. So even sellers, right? It goes a long way if the sellers help clean up their house, right? Because as part of most home inspectors, and even myself, it's like I said, it's a visual inspection. We shouldn't have to move heavy equipment in order to find an outlet. I shouldn't have to move a couch to test certain things, to test windows. And these are things that might prevent us from actually viewing certain things. So on the seller's side, it is helpful when they do clean up and create a path for us to have a good inspection as well.
How long does the inspection usually take, Simon?
So depending if it's a condo co-op, it can be 30 to an hour. Single family house would probably last about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Any additional units after that, you can probably add an additional 30 minutes. So approximately between an hour and a half to 2.5 max.
So you brought up condos and co-ops. That's a frequently asked question. Do they need home inspection? Because they are an apartment inside a big building, and sometimes the management takes care of some of the interior.
Yes, so I definitely recommend inspections primarily on condos, because certain condos you are responsible for a lot more things. You would have potentially a central AC or HVAC system or a water heater, which management would not be responsible for, and that all falls on the owners. So for condos, I definitely suggest that they do get inspected. But with co-ops, you are responsible for a lot less. But if it's a co-op that you need to renovate, I would say 95% of the time, definitely get the inspection, because there's things that come up that you might not be aware of that a home inspector is. Like the majority of the co-ops that I tend to run into have electrical panels that are no longer allowed because they might not reset when they're overpowered with too much electricity. So those are certain things that buyers might not be aware of, but as home inspectors, we know of. So I definitely recommend both, depending on where you're buying as well.
Understood. Do commercial properties need a home inspection?
I would definitely recommend to get an inspection on a commercial property, even though things work a little different. Not all home inspectors can do commercial inspections. So the number one important thing that I recommend is making sure that the inspector that's doing the commercial is a licensed commercial inspector, not just a residential inspector. I believe there's certain states where you don't need to be licensed at all, but that would be my my number one recommendation to anybody buying a commercial property. Definitely get it inspected. If it's mixed use, you can use a home inspector because the systems will all fall under the one home. But definitely, if it's just strictly commercial, definitely get it and get a licensed inspector.
Fair enough. Who pays for the home inspection, Simon?
Funny you ask, right? So the client, whoever hires me, pays for the home inspection. If the seller wants to do a pre-listing home inspections to find out certain issues with the house so they can repair it, then the seller on that point would be the client, and he is responsible. And then in all inspections on the buyer side, then the buyer would be responsible for the cost.
Understood. But most of the time I get asked that question. It's not as straightforward as most would think. Most people think buyer pays for it or one party pays for it. But that's a good answer. Whoever pays for the service.
Yeah.
Clients hear different prices on home inspection. Can you tell us the market price and the different services for each price range?
Honestly, it's a wide range depending on areas and the sizes of the home. It can range from $400 to $800 depending on your location. If you're buying a $5,000 home, don't expect a 5,000 square foot home, don't expect to pay the same as somebody that's buying a 1,500 single family home, right? So it all depends on the services and the size of the home, and it can range based on Westchester compared to the Bronx, because it's all a different market. Every single borough is different. Every village upstate is different. So it can have a very wide range, and depending on the services, where some home inspectors can provide services such as infrared cameras or sewer scope inspections, and those are additional costs to the inspector, right? Because those are equipment that they're using that cost them money, so they add an additional charge to the inspection for that specific reason. So
understood. So what should a client expect from your home inspection, Simon?
So included in my inspection, you're gonna get a full top to bottom, from foundation to roof, potentially 75 to 100-page report. I like to provide, because of the way that the market is today, we gotta act fast. So I provide my report within 24 hours, usually same day, but the faster the better for me. And along with that, with all of my inspections, they also receive their termite inspection. So that's very important, because I believe most lawyers and banks also want the termite inspection included as part of the buying process. So like I mentioned earlier, every part that is included in my inspection, from exterior to interior to all the mechanicals, and along with that, the termite.
Fair enough. So you went over a lot of information here. Tell us where we can find you, most importantly.
You can find me on Instagram or Facebook with Home Inspections Today. My phone number is 347-755-4484, and my email is simon@homeinspectionstoday.net.
Thank you so much, Simon, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invite, and glad I can be here to serve the community and help you as well.
Hi, this is Peter Pan from Remax Edge. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to follow our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to get notifications on exclusive contents about New York real estate.